All right, my friends. I started to to learn something from the Rebbe, and somehow or other it got erased. Okay, so let me just give this over to you in a very short way. This is a speech from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, which regarding the holiday of Sukkot, and it talks about Mashiach. And he brings in the beginning, I'll just want to make a resume of what I said outside, is it brings in the beginning that there is a medrash. There is a medrash, and the medrash says that, and the Gemara also, in the Talmud says that because it says in the Torah is written by God, and whatever says in the Torah is very important, very exact. So when it talks about the holiday of Sukkot, it says two times, and on the first day of Sukkot, you should rest, treat it something like Shabbat. You can't do all regular types of work. You have to refrain from like lighting fires and from writing and driving your car and things like that. And the Yom Rishon, and also says on the Yom Rishon you should take the Lulov and the Etrog. The Lulov and the Etrog, which I showed you before what Lulov and Etrog is. Here, this is the Lulov and Etrog. See, here's the Lulov and Etrog. Watch. Okay, just so that those of you who don't know, watch this. Here we go. This is a short video about the Lulav and Etrog.
The holiday of Sukkot starts 5 days after Yom Kippur, on the 15th day of Tishrei. For the duration of the holiday, we grasp 4 different plant species.
Here we go, 4 different types, right?
Etrog, a citron fruit, a lulav, a palm frond,
lulav,
hadassim, at least 3 myrtle twigs, aravot, 2 lulavs. Often this mitzvah is referred to by just the first 2 of the species, the lulav and etrog,
okay.
Or sometimes it's just called a lulav. No matter what you call it, the mitzvah is to hold them all together. Every day of Sukkot, except for Shabbat,
Good. Okay, so now you know what a lulav and etrog is. So it says, by the holiday of Shavuot, it says, by Yom Rishon, on the first day, you should keep the holiday holy, rest. It says also, on the Yom Rishon, on the first day, you should take the lulav and the etrog and should be happy. It says in the Talmud that in the merit of these 2 will come Mashiach. Like it says, V'yi b'shalom Sukkot, the Mashiach is referred to the Holy Temple, and it says that will come the Holy Temple and the name of Mashiach. That's what it says. The Holy Temple and the name of the Mashiach. So the Rebbe asked the question, why is it that the lulav and the etrog, these 4 types, that's what's going to bring the Holy Temple, which is called a sukkah? Why not the commandment of sitting in the sukkah? That's more important. The same thing is with the name of the Mashiach. Why just the name of the Mashiach? Why not Mashiach himself? What does it mean? Because it says 2 times Rishon, then we're going to get the Holy Temple and the name of the Mashiach. Holy Temple and the name of the Mashiach. What's the connection between the 2 of them? Why not the holiday of sitting in the sukkah? That's more like Mashiach. I mean, the sukkah is like the Holy Temple. No, taking the 4 types, that's what's going to bring Mashiach. So the Rebbe explains like this. The holiday of Sukkot is mainly to sit in a sukkah. What is the thing of a sukkah? The sukkah is special. It's just 4 walls made of anything, and you put foliage on the roof. But in the time of the holiday, those things become holy. You're not allowed to use those walls for anything else, and especially the schach, the covering, the foliage on the roof, you can't use it for anything. It's called tashmishi shel kedusha. Okay, so that's what we got up to. Here we got up to here. So it says the accomplishment of the holiness of the sukkah is not just we don't just use the sukkah we have to respect it because it is a used for a commandment. Is for a commandment, which is not the case. The holiness of the sukkah means that the sukkah itself is not just used for a commandment, sitting inside of it. The sukkah itself becomes holy. It becomes a commandment itself. Just like the name of God falls on, let's say you bring a sacrifice to the holy temple, that animal can't be used for anything else. The same thing is also the sukkah. So the actual foliage and the walls become holy. Al-Derech says similarly, we also find by the commandment of taking the 4 types, Lulav and Etrog. The connection from the minim, gashmim, this connects 4 physical things. So that's the whole essence of what Judaism is, using the physical world to serve the Creator. There we go. With the commandment is mitzvah gitan, connecting the physical items that you use to the commandment. It's by hadgasha, merved is more than any of the other commandments. How so? The connection between a physical thing to the commandment that you use it for, was mekayim mitim, bestate is not only in them, was which durachim kima mitzvahs, by means of doing the commandments, or even by means of just setting aside a thing to do a commandment with, right? Let's say I take the lulav and the etrog and I set it aside. Vert in im azichuch. As soon as you decide to use this thing for a commandment, it becomes a little bit sort of more refined. It's not a normal part of the world. It's not a normal part of the creation. It's got a little bit of the Creator revealed in it. The Creator wants us to do a commandment with the thing. And when we do it, so that makes the physical thing a little bit revealing the Creator. Now, you have to understand something. The Creator revealing God is not so much a spiritual experience as it is an essential experience. When the Jews at Mount Sinai heard God speak, it wasn't just a spiritual experience that they experienced something out of body. Exactly the opposite. Their body became holy. The body it was too much holiness in the body. It's something that even the spiritual couldn't contain. So therefore, it's a little bit difficult for us to understand what is happening. But on the other hand, that's God. God, you can't understand what God is. God is creating us. You don't feel that. To feel it a little bit that God is creating you, that's already coming to the world of holiness. That's why the Holy Temple, people would go to the Holy Temple, they would feel that God is creating them. Okay, so every time that you do a commandment, you take something physical and you use it for a commandment, that brings godliness into that physical thing. But the lulav and etrog, as soon as you single it out for a commandment, and then it becomes sort of removed from the creation. Says the Rebbe, it's not just that it becomes refined, but because of the essential existence of that thing. For instance, let's say you can't find a lulav. So you decide you want to take a broomstick. You're not in a place where there's any foliage. I was once in India. I went to India for a whole month. It's a long story how I was there. And when I was there, I came like right before the holiday of Rosh Hashanah, and immediately I started looking for aravot. Aravot, one of the 4 things on this. It ends up that in India, aravot don't grow. They don't grow anywhere in the some Jew came and planted some in this one place, and that was far away in a place called Hampi, whatever it is, far away, is 10 hours drive. You couldn't find any. So you say, what do you have to go find the aravot? It's willow tree. There are trees that are similar to a willow, right? There's eucalyptus trees. They also have branches, something like, no, you can't use that. Before even they're created, before you use it for a commandment, It was already ready to make a commandment and ready to be used to make a commandment, just in its essence, essential being, even before you do the commandment, or even before you choose the willow tree branches, the willow branches for a commandment. It's mentioned in the Torah that willow branches can be used for this commandment. If so, it means that the physical thing, it's fitting, it's like ready by God because he made it into a willow branch. So therefore, you can use it to do a commandment with. Vida Dugma, for instance, take an example. Wool. Wool is fitting before you do the commandment of tzitzit. It's fitting to use wool. If you want to make tzitzits from horse hairs or from human hairs or dye it white, you can't do it. Can't do it. It has to be wool from a sheep. There's all sorts of laws. What is a sheep? What it can use? A goat can use. Veist as, so this comes out, as is mer mezuchach, that therefore wool, which can be used for tzitzit, or willow tree, is a little bit more refined and it's higher from all the other physical things in the world, even from things that are permissible, because you can use these things, they're already fit for doing a commandment. And again, what does the commandment mean? The commandment means it makes the world holy. Again, the commandments are not to get us into heaven. It could be that they do that, but that's not the purpose whatsoever. That's not the purpose. The purpose of the commandments is to make the world holy. To make the world holy. So certain things become holy after you use them. Certain things, they become holy as soon as you single them out. But certain things that are fit to be holy, they already contain in themselves a certain refinement. So all the willow trees in the world, all of the etrogim in the world already have a certain degree of refinement to them because they can be used for a commandment. God, the creator of the universe, decided you could use these for a commandment. In them and in this is the whole unique advantage of the four types regarding other things in the world, which are used for that the refinement and the elevation from the four, meaning from the Lulov and Etrog, was machze roy, which makes them fitting to do a commandment, is in a way that's revealed. You can see it even before you use a commandment. You can say, oh, this is the Lulov that's mentioned in the Torah. This is the Etrog in the Torah. Even it's not Sukkot, you can see that it's already, this is mentioned in the Torah. If so, this shows that it's ready to be used for a mitzvah. And this we're going to see is something like the whole idea of the Mashiach and the Holy Temple, as we'll talk about more, God willing, on Sunday. Okay. Sure.